All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are diving deep into something that, well, probably affects all of us: the hidden anxieties that are quietly running our social lives. We're going to unpack this idea of the social trap. You know that feeling, right? That little hum of anxiety when you walk into a room, that feeling of being watched, where it feels like every single thing you do or say is being scored by a panel of invisible judges. It is just exhausting. And here's the thing, it's not just you being paranoid. This quote gets right to the point. Our brains are basically hardwired to see these situations as a high-stakes performance. One wrong move, one awkward joke, and it feels like social death. That single idea, well, it sets the stage for everything we're about to uncover. So if we're all in this high-stakes performance, how does that actually show up in our day-to-day lives? Well, let's start with our first piece of the puzzle, something our source material calls emotional clickbait. I bet you've seen this one in the wild. It's that random text you get after weeks of total silence. Or, a sudden like on an Instagram photo you posted 3 years ago. These are the breadcrumbs. They're tiny, require almost zero effort, but they're just enough to keep you hanging on. But here's the twist. The source here argues this isn't just about being a player. It's actually a defensive move. The person sending the breadcrumbs is too afraid of commitment, too afraid of being judged, so they keep their options open by keeping you in limbo. It's a lose-lose, a trap for everybody. Okay, so let's move on to the next clue. This one is something we all do, probably every single day, without even realizing what's happening beneath the surface. How's the weather? Got any big plans for the weekend? Yeah, you know the script. It's the grease that keeps the social wheels turning. It helps us get through those awkward elevator rides. But is that all it is? And this is where it gets interesting. Small talk isn't just polite, it's safe. It's like building a little conversational fortress where it's impossible to say anything controversial, anything that might get you judged or rejected. But what's the cost? It completely kills any chance for real curiosity, for a genuine connection to spark. So we have breadcrumbing and small talk as these little suits of armor we wear as individuals. But what happens when we get into a group? Well, that leads us to our third symptom, the desperate search for safety in the herd. I mean, this is psychology 101, right? We're social animals. We have this deep, primal need to fit in, to go with the flow of the group. Why? Because standing alone feels dangerous. It feels safer in the pack. And you see this everywhere online. Just think about the latest viral TikTok challenge. For so many people, the main driver isn't, I have a unique creative idea. It's, look, I'm participating, I belong. It's about blending in to avoid the spotlight of judgment that shines on anyone who dares to be different. Okay, we've laid out the evidence, the emotional clickbait, the death of curiosity and small talk, the safety of the herd. Now, it's time to put all the pieces together and see the trap for what it really is. So, check this out. This pattern is everything. On the left, you've got the harmless-looking surface behavior. Oh, I'm just being polite, or I'm just joining in on the fun. But when you look at what's happening underneath, you see the real motivation. Every single one of these is driven by the exact same thing, a profound, deep-seated fear of being judged. We've seen the symptoms, right? We've identified the pattern. So what do you call this prison that we've accidentally built for ourselves? And there it is. That's the core idea. The trap isn't that you're breadcrumbing or making small talk. The trap is the reason you're doing it. We think we're being social, connecting, and taking part, but what we're actually doing almost all the time is just managing a crippling fear of what other people might think of us. An architecture of defense. Think about that for a second. It's not just a shield. We have meticulously built these complex structures, the breadcrumbing, the small talk, the herd mentality, all to protect ourselves from that feeling of social death. The problem is, in building the fortress, we've trapped ourselves inside. And that's really the big question, isn't it? The whole point of this analysis is that just by seeing the trap, by being able to name it, you've already started to find a way out. Once you can see the bars of the cage, you can start looking for the door. So now that you know its name, what does taking just one small step toward a real connection, one that's free from that fear, look like for you?